Hey guys, welcome back to the Psalms to God YouTube channel. This video is not quite my usual thing. If you guys saw one of my videos in January, I talked about how I wanted to improve my art skills and the fact that I was starting a sketchbook. So this is my sketchbook for my sketchbook challenge. I will link the original video for those of you guys who are new and are not sure what I'm talking about. But I created this sketchbook to do my challenge, and I promised that I would show you guys my updates each month. I did not show you guys the month of January because it was very boring. As you can see, I did some shapes. That's not the whole month, but that's basically what I was doing. But we'll briefly look at it. Anyway, at the beginning, I put these trackers up front so I could keep track of whether or not I actually drew every day. I clearly did not. I struggled really hard in February. And that has a lot to do with work and stress and all of those things. And I don't know. I know that real artists or true artists will tell you you have to push past, the block, or you have to push past when you don't feel like doing it. But I just could not do that in February. So I just made the video and I'll show you a little bit of January and February, and then we'll be back next month with March. So for January, I kicked it off with basic shapes. One of the reasons I started with shapes is because they're super simple, and I've never really been a consistent art person. Like, I journal consistently, but drawing consistently is something totally different. And I wanted to be able to know that I could draw what I was choosing. I know it sounds a little crazy. That kind of defeats the purpose of a challenge, but part of the challenge is to do it every day so that I get better. And I wanted to set myself up for success, not failure. I didn't want to start off with like draw a person. And also, shapes are usually like the basic foundations of everything. So I just went ahead and started off practicing, drawing circles, spheres, whatever. I tried to practice like some shading, different techniques, different types of mediums. Some of these are in pencil, some are with watercolor, some are in pen. I think I pulled out some of my brush pens and things like that as well. The downside to this technique, or choosing this as the theme for January, was that it was a little boring. As you can see, when I got to, for instance, the octagons, like, once you draw an octagon, like, why would I draw it again? I did draw the hexagons multiple times because I saw them as like jewels, and as you can see, I colored some of them in. I tried to make them into these like bejeweled looking things. But literally the only thing I could think of for an octagon was a stop sign. Like, why else would you draw an octagon? And so, things got a little bit more difficult as I was going along. Some things I just didn't feel like drawing over and over. Then I attempted to draw this like hexagonal based pyramid. It's very faint here, but it was a complete disaster. So this page looks like I didn't do anything, but I did attempt something. um, each day I don't think I did these randomly. I think I did pick these out up front. February and the rest of the months are random. I created like a random generator. That's the computer nerd in me. But for these, I tried to give it some kind of a theme. I also tried to go back and fill in days that I missed. And so I would write down, that this was actually drawn on a different day. And, I feel like at this point I kind of picked up a little bit with these stars. I was really excited to do this. I had fun. And I think stars are something that I include a lot in my journaling. So I think that's also why I was excited. I don't know why I drew a football when I don't particularly like football, but that's what I thought of when I drew that shape. So I kept going. At the end here, I left some space for me to do doodling in case I wanted to draw something other than shapes throughout the month. The first thing I drew actually was trying to use these shapes. I drew these cute little characters. I think I saw a picture of this in like on Pinterest or something for some kids project, but I thought it'd be a cute way to kind of practice the shapes and practice watercolor, and just have some fun. So this is like super simple, super cartoony. clearly it's not a masterpiece or anything like that, but I just wanted to have some fun. And I think, you know, some of art, some of journaling, anything creative is being able to let loose and have fun as well. And that one little purple square I pointed to, I did draw a face on it, you just can't see it. Um, and then as you see, the last page for January, I drew this mountain thing, and I actually really liked that. I thought it came out cool, and I lettered this Bible verse over it because you guys know I am primarily a letterer, so of course lettering would come in eventually. It doesn't quite have anything to do with the picture, but it had the word mountains in it, and so I was like, that's gonna stick. And then I went ahead and started into February. Now, I tried to do like these kind of cover pages for each month. And if you remember when I showed you January, I did have kind of every shape drawn out each day, like these little boxes as a highlight. February, I was going to just kind of randomly draw the fruits that I drew all over the cover and then put the page number beside it. I didn't finish. As I said, February was hectic. So I never really finished the cover page. I actually drew more fruits than are actually on the page, but maybe I'll go back and finish it one day. I don't know. But it was a cute idea, and the fruits actually turned out a little bit better than I thought. I did start using Ohuhu alcohol-based markers in February, and you can see where they started to bleed through. Guys, alcohol-based markers or alcohol ink is super powerful. This paper is, I think, 100 GSM. It might be a little thicker. It is very thick paper. I know that the cardstock that I have is like 100 point or 80 point, one of the two. And then this watercolor paper that I'm looking at right now is definitely like 100 GSM or better. And it still had bleed through. So you'll see I started kind of pasting in pages to kind of help with the bleed through as I went through. But I was really excited about how February started off. I really loved how these lemons came out. The top is watercolor, and then I have some Crayola and some Ohuhu. I think I did some highlighting with my gel pens, and then I did the same for the strawberry. I have a watercolor strawberry, and then some that I did with the Ohuhus. And then I just tried some pens, and they weren't quite as detailed, but I was just kind of having fun doing like quick sketches there. But I thought these came out pretty realistic, and I was really looking forward to how the month of February was going to turn out. I even brought in my colored pencils when I did the blueberries. And I was surprised that the Crayolas were actually more vibrant than the Ohuhus when I did this particular page. But then when I got to the cantaloupe, I struggled so hard with the round cantaloupe, like drawing in the veins and the seeds and things. And then when I got ready to color it, I really was just like, when would I ever draw a cantaloupe and not draw it like a slice of cantaloupe? Like, I can't really imagine that I would be trying to draw a cantaloupe like not cut, or the view where you see all of the seeds. So I didn't bother with coloring it in. I mean, yeah, if my goal was to be a grand artist, I would try to draw it because I would want to be able to draw anything. But really, I am just trying to improve my art slowly. And right now I'm trying to focus on things that I would actually use in my journals. So I just stuck with the slice of cantaloupe that you would eat, and I colored it in. This is Crayola. I thought the colors were pretty good. The green was a little dark, but it works. And so, as you can tell, this is where the bleed through is. I was trying to hide it, so you can see kind of the shadow of where I added in other pages to make it thicker, so that you can't actually see where the blueberries bled through or where these peaches bled through. I was really proud of the peaches. Again, I felt like I was redeeming myself after the cantaloupe, and then the lime, you know, they're basically the same thing, except one is green and one is yellow. I did do a little bit more experimenting with pins on this one. And I actually spent more time on it than I thought I would, considering it was very, very similar to the lemon, but I think I just liked green. Like finding this lime green color was fun. So I definitely tried to play with it a little to see if I could get anything different than when I was doing the lemon. So that's why I did some more of the pins and the gel pins. And, really this kind of style can be used for anything. You could just color it orange and have an orange. I moved on to the pineapple. Most of the pineapples are in pencils. I didn't feel particularly creative that day, but I did try to do one in color. It's not horrible, but you can't really see the cross hatching I did. I should have gone in maybe with a darker marker on top to do that cross hatching to give it a more complete look. But overall, I wasn't too upset with the pineapple. The coconuts were fun. I tried to make a little coconut drink, though I don't think I would ever draw that. And I tried to get like the little hairs on the one that wasn't cut. I was pretty proud of that. You can see where I had bleed through that I didn't cover. We'll get to that later. But I went for drawing this dragon fruit, and I actually really, really like how the inside of it came out. The outside is a little weird. I don't know if I got the shape quite right, but I went with it. This day I drew a grapefruit. And as you can tell by this point, I was kind of sick of citrus. Like I was like, I've already done citrus. I don't really care to draw it again in detail. So I kind of just did something. It clearly doesn't look that great, but I was trying like some cross hatching. And the next day I did a papaya. Please ignore the avocado that's clearly on the other page. We'll get there. But I did draw a papaya on this day, and I really focused more on the seeds. This was around the time that I was starting to experience a lot of burnout. I had put in a 20-hour day at my job one of these days, and I never fully recovered. So I didn't really focus on coloring in the papaya. I just kind of went for the seeds because I thought that would be the most difficult part. And I didn't even bother to cover up the avocado that I drew on the other side because I knew it wasn't going to mess up the papaya. So I just let it go. That's how I was feeling in February. As you can see, the avocado is the only thing I drew on this in the next 4 days or so. But I was really happy with how it came out. I tried a gel pen version and an ohuhu version, and then just like a straight black and white pen version. I thought the colors came out pretty good, and I thought this, I don't know, I was really excited, and I really like avocados, so that just made me super happy. In my mind, I was going to come back and fill in those pages that are blank, but like I said, I was worn out, so I didn't, so that's why there's so many blank sections. Came in and did a kiwi. At first, I was just doing colored pencil, and then I decided I wanted an ohuhu version. I wanted to see if it looked better, if it was more vibrant, because I really just didn't like the colors that I was getting from the colored pencils. So I cut out this little square and glued it in and tried it. It came out okay. I'm not sure. Maybe I should have made the seeds darker. I'm not sure if I would like it better there. I also went ahead and drew a watermelon. I didn't get too complicated here. Most of this is in gel pen, though the one in the middle where it's not sliced is in colored pencil. Again, like I said, I wasn't putting a whole lot of effort in near the end of February. This cherry turned out pretty good, I would say. As you can tell, I only drew one that was in color, and then the two, like I said, just tired. But, I was happy with how it turned out overall. This is actually done with paint pen and not marker, so I was trying to experiment with new things. I tried out drawing an apple. This is when I was kind of experimenting with colored pencils. And then I drew this blackberry. It's not a grape. I know it's kind of hard to tell whether I'm looking at a grape or a blackberry, but this is a blackberry. And I was actually really proud of the hatching. I'm trying to zoom in to show you guys the hatching on this black and white version of it. Um, I really, really was proud of myself. That's what I was trying to go for. I'm not sure I quite got the shape of the blackberry. I think it's a little bit more round or oval-ish than it is pointed, which is why it kind of looks more like grapes than, you know, blackberry. But nonetheless, I was decently pleased with how that came out. So I'm not going to complain too much on myself. I did intend to draw grapes at some point, but I didn't because I missed so many days. I really, at that point, stopped. I think the cherry was the last thing I actually succeeded at drawing for the month of February. I am doing a lot better in March, but you know, hopefully that will hold. And thank you for tuning in. I will show you March in March. If you have any suggestions or tips that help you with your art, please let me know. Or if you have any questions or other comments, feel free to leave them below. And I will see you guys next month with the next sketchbook walkthrough. Bye, guys.